Okay, hi, I'm Tom Savini, and we're talking to Scifiworld.
So, the first question is Tom Savini. First of all, thank you for doing this interview.
My pleasure, thanks.
Because we are very great fans.
I appreciate that, yeah.
We want, as Greg Nicotero says yesterday, we want to be Tom Savini as well. But we can't.
Well, there's a little bit of Tom Savini in everybody.
Yeah.
But since I am Tom Savini, there's more of it in me. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. So, first of all, tell us about the prize that you have here in Cities. What it means to you, this prize?
Oh, well, I've heard so much about it because I have many friends that have come here before, you know. So I never thought that I would be here, but you know, this is great. Yeah, I'm having a great time. You know, it's like I said last night. I grew up with an inferiority complex, and what makes that go away is stuff like getting an award from somebody for your lifetime achievement. You know, like at least somebody's paying attention. You know, so. Yeah.
Okay, the next question is a bit biographical and historical. We want to explain ourselves how it went, the beginning of your career as a makeup artist.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, you know, I was interested when I was 11 years old because I saw the movie Man of a Thousand Faces, the story of Lon Chaney, yeah. My son's name is Lon. I named him after Lon Chaney. And he had a daughter and he named her Chaney. So there's a Chaney Savini running around in the world, you know. But it began when I was 11 years old, and I was lucky enough to do my first movie with Bob Clark, Death Dream. Then we immediately did another one in Canada called Deranged, and then nothing for 6 years. Then I hooked up with George Romero, and we did Dawn of the Dead. Then I did Friday the 13th. So it came to me. You know, I live in Pittsburgh. I don't live in Hollywood, and it's very difficult it's very difficult anywhere to get into movie. But it just came to me. I was in the right place at the right time, but I was ready. I had a portfolio. I had pictures of my work that I could show and get a job. And that's what I preach to my students. I tell them, don't go anywhere without your portfolio, because you don't know when you're going to meet somebody who can help or hire you. You know, that there's no formula for success, but that seems to work. You know.
And how it went, this first meeting with George Romero, how you start your relationship?
He came to my high school when I was second year of high school. He was shooting a movie, but it never happened. And he was looking for a young kid. And so he picked me out of the whole high school. But the movie never happened, but that's how I met him. And then years later, I went to him to work on Night of the Living Dead. But I had enlisted in the Army. So they took me to Vietnam when George made the first Night of the Living Dead. You're not hearing that, are you? Okay. This is crickets, yeah. It's a weird animal. It's
a noisy animal.
Yeah. So, but come on, guys. Who's doing that? I mean,
I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But years later, I got to direct Night of the Living Dead for George Romero, so it came around, you know. But it just came to me. It just fell on me, you know, and I was in a lucky situation.
I'm starting to get peace.
We're gonna cut somebody.
Yes, we're
just scream, shut up!
We're going to make some big shit out of it. Okay, and the next question will be about makeup and the history of makeup with the materials and the developing of this art for your point of view.
Well, you know, when I started, the materials were very crude. I mean, if you look at Dawn of the Dead, when those bullet holes are appearing, I mean, it's buttons. It's buttons with string glued on the head, covered with wax, and then I would pull the string and the hole would appear. This is terrible. This is primitive. This is very bad, you know. So then, of course, it became plastic, a plastic with a path to the bullet, like in Adrian Barbeau and Creepshow, you know.
Yeah.
This was very, very professional, very slick, very invisible, you know. Now it might be CGI, you know, it might be computer generated, you know. It depends on the project and your budget. I mean, I know people that are still using the button, you know. Me, I would never do that. But I also have an explosives license, so I can buy professional squibs, you know, and put it under the appliance and press a button, electric, you know. But it's constantly changing. Now, even today with high definition, we've used very little makeup. It's mainly just powder, you know. And when there's a fake hair piece, it used to be the hair had a lace edge this wide, which you glue down. Now it's this wide because it's too visible in high definition. So it's the technology of shooting. Like I just shot a movie. The whole movie was shot with Canon 7Ds.
Yes.
The whole movie, and it looks beautiful.
The documentary is
You did?
starting with this.
Okay, yeah. So it's the sadist. Tom Savini is the sadist. Now it looks fabulous, and it's like a still camera. The whole movie was shot with that. So as that technology changes, the materials for makeup has to change, you know, because it's too sharp, too clear. Yeah, we got away with murder before, literally.
Okay, and let's talk about something about also evolution, but evolution of the zombie, because zombies play a great part in your career. So tell us about
it. Still is very prominent. Zombies, you know. But what do you want to know?
About your perspective about this subject and your work with zombies and how they develop.
Well, you know, in Dawn of the Dead was a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead is black and white, so the zombies were black and white. So when we did Dawn of the Dead, except for the bloody zombies, I made everybody gray. But unfortunately, the light made them look blue, made them look green, you know, it was never good. So in Day of the Dead, I tried to make up for that, making the zombies all different. But they slapped my hand. They were mad. Why do the zombies all look different? Because if you die and I die today, but you die upstairs in the hot attic and I die in the basement, we would come back looking very different, not the same. You know, if you're Chinese and he's Spanish and he's Italian, we will die and we're not going to look the same. So that was my goal in Day of the Dead and that's for me, that's the most realistic zombies that I've ever made, was in Day of the Dead. And today, like in Land of the Dead, Greg Nicotero did this wonderful makeup on the girl whose face, you know. People thought that was CGI because it looked impossible, but it's a brilliant makeup. And what he's doing for The Walking Dead, that looks tremendous. Now, I might do another zombie movie with George Romero called, it's a remake of Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Now, these are zombies that come out of the grave. So they have to be almost skeletons. They have to be really rotted and disintegrated. So that has to be a combination of makeup and CGI, where I will put green, so you can see through the rotting, you know. So this, yeah. So this will be the new, I hope, the new generation of zombies, because it's tough to make zombies scary, because there's only so much you can do to the face, to the hands. You know, Zack Snyder in the remake of Dawn of the Dead, he made them run to make them scary. But George Romero didn't like that, you know. No. he sells bumper stickers that say "Fast Zombies Suck," okay? Because if you're dead, you continue to be dead. You continue to rot. You don't become Superman, you know. Yeah. But Zack had a problem. How do I make zombies scary? So make them fast, you know. But they're still scary when they're slow, just like Frankenstein is scary. You can outrun Frankenstein. You can outrun the zombies. The problem is if they get too close, then you're overpowered. You know? So anyway.
Okay, so we have another one. So the final question will be: how do you feel about your career? You know, all these years. When you look
like an actor.
Yeah, like an actor and a director, all your works.
No, I feel lucky because I wrote 2 books, Grand Illusions 1 and 2. The first thing I say is, the more you do, the more you get to do. See, when I grew up, my father could do anything. My father was a plumber, an electrician, a carpenter, a shoemaker, a bricklayer. So I thought, when you grow up, you must be able to do lots of things very well. But the world isn't like that. They frown on versatility. If you can do one thing great, it's impossible to do, but that's not true. So the more you do, the more you get to do. So I'm lucky that I've gotten to, do the makeup effects, do the stunts, act. I've done movies where I was just the photographer, so the more you do, the more opportunity you have, if you're interested in being in movies, to get in and do it. I tell my students that all the time. My students in Pittsburgh, it's like I say to them, what are you the best at? What do you think you're the best at? And then we research in their hometown area where they can work, So we have a great placement. It's 84% of getting a job, It's no longer you have to go to Hollywood and you have to go there to work in movies. They can work in mass companies, toy companies, prosthetic labs, dental labs, amusement parks, haunted attractions, So it's not just the movies anymore, And it's really based on how good you are at maybe one thing,
So thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you for this, yeah.